Hey guys, and welcome back. This is my Ableton journal. In today's journal entry, I wanted to share with you how I was able to finish off 4 new tracks in 2 weeks, even after not producing music for 3 weeks. So on Sunday, around 4 weeks ago at this point in time, I played the closing set of a Sunday daytime event that me and a couple of friends had organized. I had spent the full week preparing my playlist and practice mixing, and I prepared a list with tracks that I've really felt showcased the essence of dub techno and what dub techno means to me. When I was there and I was playing my stuff, I really didn't feel like people were actually paying attention or wanting to dance. And it was kind of disheartening, to be honest, seeing that it was only my close friends and myself that actually was moving about and kind of seeming to enjoy the music. I really found a lot of freedom in that, and it enabled me to just loosen up and play and just enjoy the moment. So the next week, when I finally get back home, Easter had just rolled around, my little brother had come to visit, and I didn't get to produce any music at all for that week either. Now the next week rolls around, we're on Monday, and I sit down to make some music, open up Ableton, and I just feel flat and uninspired. I don't really know what to do. Because of this, I actually told myself you know what, if the only thing I do right now is open up Ableton, I sit with it for 1 hour, that's good enough. It didn't really matter if I liked what I was doing or not. The only thing that really mattered was that I, almost like a robot, just went through the regular steps that I would normally take in order for me to start creating the basis of a track. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, the first few days were super brutal, as I was literally forcing myself to just do something, regardless of how much resistance I was feeling in the moment. And I had the regular thoughts come up, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm a crap producer, this sucks, my music sucks, this is boring, etc. After doing this for 2 to 3 days with just this bare minimum amount of work, at the end of one session, I told myself, you know what, okay, I'm not super happy with what I'm working on right now. Let me do 1 hour of just pure exploration, just for exploration's sake. Because I really needed to get out of that forcing myself to do something kind of mindset. So what I did was I opened up Reaktor, loaded up a random device that I didn't really know. I initialized the patch as best as I could, and after that I spent 30 minutes just trying to get some sounds to come out of it at all. I was getting some sounds out of it, and at one point I realized hey, I think this could be really good for sequencing minor chords actually. So that's what I ended up doing. I recorded 64 bars of this, just me playing around with this device. I threw that sample into an instance of Simpler, sequenced out a couple of notes, saved the project, quit Ableton, and called it a day. The next day, I go back to the first track that I was working on, and when I started to work, it was like something started to click, because I really could feel that even though I still wasn't really happy with how things were sounding and how the track was evolving, at least I was doing something, I was making a track even though it could potentially end up being a track that nobody's gonna ever listen or that I won't ever show to anyone. And this feeling of momentum, I guess it kept compounding across this session, and the next day I got to a point I felt like the track was done, and I could export it out, close Ableton, be done. I'm yay, woo, I made a track in 5 days, I think it was. And then the day after that again, I was actually kind of excited to go back and work with that Reaktor recording that I had recorded 2 days earlier. Because at this point, I had already created a track, and now I just needed to repeat those steps, and they were so fresh in my mind, and especially when I had that recording that I was really excited about. Then all of a sudden, I was able to turn that small snippet into a full track in just 2 working days. And then the week after that again rolls around, and because of all this momentum I've all of a sudden had, I was able to start another fresh track from start to finish, and I finished that in 4 days, I think it was. And this was on Thursday or Friday last week. But then, what do you know? I get sick. I got the common cold with sore throat, congested sinuses and everything, and you can probably hear it in my voice that I'm still kind of iffy. But regardless, because of the super low bar I had set the week prior to everything, I was still motivated to open up Ableton and just like mess around. And on Saturday last week, that was what I did. I was playing around with operator and guitar rig just to create this weird phasing kind of pad sound, I don't know what. And at some point while I was deep in this patch, I thought to myself, hey, wait a minute, I wonder what a minor chord would sound going into this effects chain in guitar rig. So I did that, and you know what, I like it sounded amazing, and it really inspired me to just like flesh that out. And I did another full 8-minute dub check techno track over the course of those 2 days, even while I was sick. And if you're curious, that's the track that has been playing in the background of this entire video. So to summarize all of this, at the gig that I talked about, I realized that nobody was really listening to my music and my mixing with my ears. And it was the same thing I realized if I take this with me back into the studio and I lower my expectations of the outcome crazily, it turns out I get stuff done. You know? 4 tracks in 2 weeks, and one of them I even made while I had a fever. If you've come this far, I just want to say thanks a lot for watching. This hasn't been a usual tutorial video. This is more of a journal entry, and I hope that you get some value out of this. Of course, as always, if you do have any questions about my process or about anything I've covered so far, just let me know in the comments down below. And I am still also offering one-on-one Ableton Live music production coaching for anyone who wants to try and level up their music production or mindset skills. If you're curious about this, I'll leave a link at the very bottom of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.